Hello guys, today we're going to be cooking you some orange chicken just like what you buy over there at Panda Express. Let's get started and see how this happens. We'll start out with some chicken breast. We'll cut these in chunk sized pieces. These are the thin breast. I usually like to use a little thicker one, but these will work just fine. The bigger the chunks, the softer the inside will be. The smaller the chunks, the crispier the outside will be, of course, because you have less meat to cook on the inside. Now, you don't have to follow this recipe exactly. There are many out there probably for making orange chicken. This is just the way I like to do it. Get them all done up, cut up like that right there. Throw them in a pan. Then you're going to add you a little bit of salt and pepper. You don't want them too salty. As you know, we're making orange chicken, not pepper chicken. You be the judge of how much salt and pepper you want in them. You may like a little peppery taste. Of course, you can add a little bit of that. If you want them salty, just add you a little more salt. Mix them up real good like that. Get all the spices, the seasoning and pepper all over that chicken the best you can. Once I get this far, I normally like to let them set in the bowl. Try to get up to around close to room temperature as I possibly can. I know there's some people out there probably say, oh, keep it cold. No, I like to bring mine up to temp where that seasoning will kind of absorb in the meat. Now your next step is going to be to add your egg white. Toss it around there again. Stir it up real good. Get that egg white all over that chicken. You want that corn starch, which is what we're going to add next, to kind of glue itself to that old chicken. We call it yardbird, but it's called different things all over the world, but we call it old yardbird, old chicken breast. Next, get you some corn starch, about 1/3 of a cup. A little bit more. Now let's see how that comes out. Same thing, we're going to stir that old stuff up too. Move it around the side of the pan there, get it to stick up to it pretty good. Shuffle it around in the pan real good, blend it all together. It looks a little nasty at this point, right? But it's sure going to turn out really good when you start eating it. Now then, let that set a short period of time. Now the next step, oh, sorry about the bloop and blunder, but the next step is to add you about 1.5 cups to 2 cups of flour, just enough to coat that chicken very well. And once we get this on there, we'll want to make sure that we mix it up real thoroughly. Now I like to cut myself short a little bit on the flour at this point until I mix it up, and I'll look at it again and see if I might need to tweak it a little further to make them a little crunchier on the outside. The more flour you put on these things, the crunchier it's going to be. Think about cooking fried chicken. The more batter you got, the more flour you got, the more egg whites you got, the crunchier that old chicken's going to be and the crustier it's going to be. Kind of like that old good old southern fried chicken. You know, ain't nothing better than that. The main thing at this point, making sure you got it mixed up real good and the old chicken breast coated real well. That looks good. We're going to leave it just like that right now. Well, we're going to back up a little bit there. I kind of see a little bit of light beige color in that chicken. I think I'm going to add just a little bit more flour. It's just my taste. Some people may not want that extra crusty, but I like that crust. Good stuff. So we add a little bit more flour. We're going to mix it up a little bit more. Don't be afraid to get messy. You know, whatever you spill on your cutting board or on your cooking top can always be washed off. Ain't nothing like good old chicken. Now, I'm a little more happier with that, so we'll let that sit. Get your heating source ready, get your oil in your pan, enough to cover about 2/3 of that two-thirds of each piece of chicken. And now it's time to start cooking this little stuff and browning it up. Make sure the grease is hot enough. We've got this old, it's called a New Wave induction cooktop. And we're going to see how it turns out on it today. I'll stick a little piece in there, see if it's, oh yeah, look at it, it's ready to go. Put your chicken in there, a little bit at a time. You'll want to brown this on both sides, of course. Don't double stack it because it won't cook very well. I believe we'll be able to cook this in 2 batches. I'll probably only film 1 batch at a time, or 1 batch in the entirety. I don't want to bore you with the cooking part of it. I think everybody knows how to cook stuff. It's not that hard, right? It may take 3 to 5 minutes per side, probably. I'm not sure. We'll see how long it takes. You can time us by the video itself. If you want to turn it up a little bit, feel free to do so. I'm going to bump mine up to about 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Speed up the cooking process. Little chitty chatter. I've had this old New Wave precision induction cooktop for about 5 years. We use it on the barbecue competition circuit. Cook up a few sauces and barbecue sauces that we have videos on out there. So check out our other videos. Make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. We're a young channel here when it comes to the cooking recipe side of it, but we plan on putting out 1 to 2 videos every week if possible. Now we do have another channel that's under my name called Larry Spruce, S-B-R-U-S-C-H. It's been around a long time. It's got more of our daily routine, I guess you would say. But we've had a lot of people ask us to do some more cooking stuff, and now that we're retired from the barbecue cooking competition world, we are going to go out there and give away some of our secrets, especially when it comes to our barbecue sauces and our charro beans. We've done very well with them at the competition in San Antonio, Texas, and Houston Livestock Show. So stick around for those videos. You'll learn a lot, and those are going to be some videos that you do not want to miss. Ooh, starting to smell pretty good now. Let's flip a piece of it over and see what it looks like. Oh, needs to be a little more browner. I like mine a little on the dark side. You as an individual may want yours lighter or darker. It's up to you. You'll cook it as long as you want to. Now, to shorten the video, I have taken a little bit out of the cooking process in the middle of it so that I wouldn't just bore you with the cooking process. I think all of you know how to do that. Now, I will take a probe and I will check the temperature of the chicken. I do want my chicken cooked thoroughly. I do not want any raw chicken. It's safe, very unhealthy for everyone. So, during the cooking process, you won't want to take the temperature in the pot. You'll want to take a piece of meat out of the pot and actually put it in a different area, because if you're checking in the pot, most likely you're going to be checking pretty much the grease temperature along with the chicken, so it's not going to be an accurate reading on the temperature once it's in the skillet still cooking. You'll want to take it out. Now that we've reached this area where the chicken is pretty browned, we're going to take it out and we're going to put it over here on a piece of something so that the grease will drip out of it. Alright guys, we're back and we got the soy sauce in the pan. Now we're going to add about 1/3 cup of orange juice. Then we're going to add our ginger, our ground ginger. Should be about a tablespoon. I think I only put a teaspoon. Now let's add a little bit more. There we go. Now we got close to a tablespoon in there. Next we're going to add our garlic. Actually, these are the red peppers, red chili peppers. My wife kind of likes them pretty spicy. So we're just going to add quite a bit of these. I'm the same way. I like a little spice in it. I'm going to turn my heat back down now that I got it up to a boil almost. And then you want your garlic. Everybody likes garlic, right? You don't have to follow my recipe on this stuff. You can add it accordingly as to how you want it to taste. Mix that stuff around pretty good. Everybody's taste buds are different. Yours may be spicy, yours may be sweet. You may want a lot of honey. You may want a lot of ginger. You can tweak this recipe according to however you want it. It doesn't have to be exact. This is not rocket science, guys. We'll get that to kind of cooking around there, and then we're going to add the actual vinegar next. I like to keep stirring it so you get a really good blend of everything. I'll bump it back up to 200. Your temperature settings may be different. You may be cooking on a gas-fired stove, or you may be cooking on induction type. You know how your stove cooks, and only you, so cook it the way you want to cook it. Oh man, that sure smells good. See, I got it boiling a little bit too much. I'm going to bring the temperature back down to about 190. I want it to kind of, just a light boil. I don't want it to really, boil real fast, real hot. I want the spices to all blend together at this point in time. I'll stick my spoon back in there to kind of clean it off. The 200 mark is almost too much, and the actual 190 that I have it set on is just not quite enough. So we'll let it blend a little bit more. You can see the difference that 10 degrees makes. Goes to boiling real fast. It's at 200 now. If you bring it down to 190 on the induction top, you see that it takes the boiling sensation away from it. Now we're going to add the vinegar. Got just a little bit too much in there in the bowl, so I'm not going to put it all in there. Now, next step is to add the slurry. Now, this is a little touchy on putting in here. You want to make sure you add it slowly and stir continually, and you want to make sure it's boiling at the same time, or else this stuff will clump up on you real quick. So we see that we got it at 200 right now, and it stops boiling. We're going to bring it back up to 210 now at this point. With the volume, we've had to make an adjustment on the temperature. We're going to go ahead. Oh, I missed one step here. Let's add our lemon zest. Now we're actually going to be using a valley lemon. It is a combination of a lemon and a lime. We grow these in our backyard, and they're really good on tacos or any kind of food that you may want to have a lime or lemon in. It's kind of a combination of both. It's tart, it's sour, and it's sweet all in one. Now you can choose just a regular old orange. Oh, I dropped it. Or you can try a lemon. There we go. Now they want to add the slurry. Make sure it's mixed up real good. This should thicken that sauce up. Kind of like making Cajun roux. Now I'm going to turn that heat down a little bit because it's sticking it up too fast. And then you may have to add you some water to it if it gets thick on you too quick. I'm going to turn the heat quite a ways down. See how fast that old roux thickened up? Put a little water in there. I don't want it to dry up on me and burn up. Okay, there was a step in the video that the camera did not record, and it was probably the most important part of the whole video, so we're having to add this or insert it in part of the previous cut of the video. You definitely gotta have your honey. Without honey, this is not what you're trying to cook. So heat that sauce up, add your honey. Now this is where your finger's going to come into play. You're going to go in there and actually taste it as it heats up. Now it's starting to taste better. Now I'm starting to like that a lot better. It's got to be runny enough for the chicken when you dip it in it. Ooh, I smell that valley lemon aroma. Doesn't take much of that stuff. Maybe just a little more water. You'll have to adjust this part of it yourself based on how you are cooking, and again, what type of stove you're cooking with. Who needs utensils? We can put them in there with our hands. Back where I like to be from, in them backwoods of Louisiana swamps, they don't have no cooking utensils. They cook with their hands. Get that old stuff all slopped up on there. Oh boy, I throw that one right out of here. It's okay, nothing water can't get out. If you ain't got messy food, you ain't got good food. We're not competition cooking. Today, we're cooking for taste. Outside of the mess around the corner of the tray. Now, doesn't that look good? You can do this yourself. Just follow that recipe and it'll turn out just like that. And guys, if you gained any valuable information from this video, we ask that you go down and hit that subscribe button and the like or the bell icon. It really does help us, believe it or not, to get this video out there to reach other people. Well, it's a small channel and all your help will be greatly appreciated. Stick around, we're going to put out some other videos.